We are diving on in. I think Oreo changed his portrait, right? If I remember correctly, he had a solar portrait before, right?
Actually, I don't think he ever. I don't think he actually ever had the solar portrait in game.
Mm.
On Discord, it's still the 2016
True.
WCS solar portrait, but yeah, I'm not sure if he, because unfortunately it's not available to own anymore. The 2016 WCS pack, which is disappointing. I love to own that, but regardless. Here we are now on 2000's Atmosphere LE. We're in the top right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner. We have a blue Terran player coming out from the land of Korea. He is not proxying this game, and he is representing Shopify Rebellion. He is ByuN.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the Australian Zerg player representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is ByuN. It's ByuN? Oreo.
That's just how much APM he has, you know.
It's true. It's very true.
He's multi-boxing right now, playing against himself.
Yeah, both these players, they have more than a couple of similarities with each other. You're actually not wrong about that. Fun
issues.
It's unfortunately true. Unfortunately true. But Oreo actually, fun fact, he was actually messaging me I think a couple of days ago. And he said that he's like working even more on like just slowing down. Like that's just been his goal for the past year, is just slow down his play because it's hurting him more than helping him.
Because it's that intensive. I remember when he first told us that, I was like, guys, I'm working on just slowing down my play, and we would get out and a game would finish and we'd see the average APM and it's still like 450.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's like Jesus. And that's you trying to slow down.
Yeah. I know it can be difficult, especially when things get intense, right? But, you know, fingers crossed. And I'm just excited to see how this will go, you know? Obviously, we have a clear favorite here in ByuN, but this is a great way to really put Oreo's ZVT to the test.
Yeah, it absolutely is, especially if... Well, I was going to say especially in a style that will really tax his multitasking and his concentration. I worry that also will tax his APM and therefore his wrist.
Yeah, we'll see who it hurts more.
It's a war of attrition at this point.
It is.
Whose limbs blow out first?
Shaking my head, mate. Shaking my head. But so far, the openers are pretty standard from both of our players. You know, Oreo, he does get his third hatchery up and running. Ooh,
One more hit, so close.
Almost gets the Reaper. Fun fact, he actually went for his third base a little bit sooner to make sure he could get it up before the Reaper showed up, so he wouldn't be bothered, he wouldn't be harassed too much by the Reaper. And ByuN, not playing this out too greedy.
Which is surprising to me. Yeah, he's going for a pretty standard 1-1-1, no 3 CC before starport shenanigans here. Nice little cancel on the turn.
Oh no!
Oh, okay! That's a feels good if you're a Terran player. Getting not one, but 2 creep tumors of your Reaper.
That's so painful. And I was about to say, mate, this is looking like the Vanya special, mate.
The Radita special.
I guess the Radita special now. I mean, in my mind, I'd like to think it's what forced him to name change. But yes, we do see a lot of Hellions on the way here for ByuN. He's also prioritizing Marine production, and he's going to be sending it across the map. Oh, keeps his Marines at home, actually.
Okay. In case an Overlord comes in, he does have a way to cancel it out or to chase it away. There's that armory coming down, and it does get scouted by Oreo, so at least he has that going for him. But yeah, no, this is looking very Radita so far.
Yeah, it's so important that the armory was scouted there by Oreo. The Lings are already running in position. He was able to scout the opener, so he knows about the drop. Hellions do get in, but the Lings are here to meet them.
They are here to meet them, but the medevac is here to evacuate some of them. One of them will go down, and that's actually a really nice pickup here for Oreo. 3 Hellions, nowhere near as devastating as for
Yeah, exactly. So thankfully, Oreo was able to slow this down a little bit. His queens were here, only loses 3 drones so far, but ByuN isn't done. Hellions are on the way, Banshee's on the way as well, and again, because of that armory, all of this can be morphed into Hellbats.
Absolutely. It's really important that he does keep these 3 Hellions alive as well, because now, as you can see, he's just dropping them down. Okay, he's actually going to try to harass this main base a little bit more, but he can also drop them and meet them up with the rest of his Hellions and have a much stronger frontal engagement.
Yeah, he really could. Unfortunately, Oreo wasn't really ready for this. The Hellbats are pushing on forward. The Hellions successfully were able to distract all the other queens, and now the first queen in the main is going to go down.
Yeah, the medevac goes down, so there's no evacuation for these Hellbats, but Hellbats are so tough regardless. If any, and he's using that SimCity, that choke point by the mineral lights really, really well too.
He really is. Meanwhile, decent Baneling connections. It looks like these Hellions will be cleaned up, but again, the Hellbats in the main were so... Oh my god, they're still going! No!
11 drones will go down, in addition to that 3 earlier on, and the rest of these drones are very badly bruised. A couple of Banshees have finished up, and there is a Spore Crawler here now, but the drones are so beat up that it's not going to take too many hits for the Banshees to wipe out that mineral line.
Yeah, here we go. 2 Banshees in the middle of the map. Cloak is done. Yeah, it is done, so he's ready to go. There are a lot of queens. There is an Overseer for detection, but it's all about the positioning. Are they going to be here in time where they need to be to deal with them? And so far, the answer is yes.
But that's a long walk to get back into the main. ByuN actually not going for it. Okay, he recognizes that that's a lot of queens. That's an Overseer. I don't have to take the risk right now. I've already beat up your economy.
Yeah, exactly. But the problem is that the Banshees are still alive, so just sharking around, looking for whatever damage they can deal. They'll get a couple of creep tumors here and there. There's the scan as well on top of our duck. But Oreo, he was forced to take another 4th base. I don't know if you realized, but Oreo, he was about to take a 4th here, but because of the position of the Banshees, he was forced to expand over horizontally instead. So it's going to be a little bit more awkward to defend. There's a lot less creep here to give him a staging ground.
And that's exactly where ByuN is aiming to go for with these Marines. Now, Oreo will at least see this. Banshees weren't able to deal with 1 creep tumor, and this gives Oreo a little bit of time. But that's a hot pickup.
Just barely in time, but what's scary is that all the creep was cleared up. Like, Oreo needs to be on top of respreading that creep with all these queens. Unfortunately, they're too busy trying to deal with the Banshee.
They really are. I think a lot of them actually... No, they didn't go down. They're not quite here.
Yeah.
Look at all these queens of energy, too.
Exactly. Feels bad, man. Like, we need creep desperately. There we go. Finally, some creep tumors are going to be thrown down, but it's a little bit too late. ByuN, he's already here. Not just with Marines, but also with the tank. Up!
Thankfully, Baneling Speed did finish up, but he's fighting off a creep, and there was that tank there. There are only 2 Banelings left right now for Oreo.
Yeah.
And knowing ByuN, I don't think he's going to have too much issue sniping them down, and
Oh my god, that was insane. Not just the Marine target fire, but also, I don't know if you noticed, even though the tank went down, it did focus down like 4 or 5 of those Banelings. Meanwhile, Banelings did just barely finish up. Oreo is able to hold on, but what about that creep? It's still not respread.
It really isn't, but here come a ton of reinforcements. ByuN just getting ready to stage here, and the last thing Oreo wants to do right now is take the bait and try to engage this. I hope he doesn't.
Oh no! More target fire. There's only 2 Banelings remaining here. There's 0 Banelings remaining. Oh god.
That's one of the things that I love seeing and that I always wish I could do as a Terra player. Just target fire the Banelings before they connect.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you do that, man?
Just hashtag play like ByuN. Reinforcements are coming out here for Oreo, but there's just far too much from ByuN. The rally is absolutely insane, and GG gets called.
ByuN takes game number 1 after kind of forcing Oreo into all these awkward positions.
Yeah, whether it was with the Hellion drop into the Hellbats as well, into the Banshees. Oreo just messaged me. He's like, "Man, this guy's pretty good."
Apparently, who'd have thought?
Exactly. Oh.
So, okay, we're getting to game number 2 now. And you want to know a fun fact here, like?
Go for it.
You said that Oreo is working even harder to slow things down, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess his APM?
I missed it. What was it?
475.
God damn it, Oreo.
Well, it was a very frantic game overall.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Difficult to blame him. If anything, you want to blame ByuN for that. ByuN as well. I think he had something like 390 APM.
Yeah.
Fast players, these two. Very fast.
Definitely.
And speaking of fast, we gotta go fast in this intro because actually there's nothing happening at the start of the game. Never mind. It would have been a fun segue, you know, fitting one if we had a proxy or something, or 12 pool, but that's not what we're getting. Oh, maybe no. Anyway, here in the bottom left-hand corner, I'm spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of Hardwire LE. We have a blue Terran player coming out from the land of Korea. He, of course, is going to be representing Shopify Rebellion. We have the one-man army. We have ByuN.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the Australian Zerg player. He is red, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Oreo. And what I will say about the harassment from ByuN is that it did feel like Oreo wasn't keeping up, but not by much. Like he had the units he needed to. He had his queens, he had his lings, he had his banes. They just, you know, needed to be in position. There were a couple of moments where he just barely missed a little, like a couple of army movements, and he wasn't able to keep up.
Absolutely, he always had vision out in the map, either with overlords or with creeps. So he knew how he needed to respond. He just didn't quite have the numbers on his side. I tell you what, he dealt with the initial Hellions in his main base a hell of a lot better than Rattata.
Hashtag called out, mate. Oh, but you're not wrong.
We love you, Rattata, the player formerly known as Vanya.
We're never gonna forget that just the Hellion drop, it just goes into the main and just GG, you know? It's like every single worker dies.
You know, that's always one of the saddest things, right? Whenever a player is one game, they're forever known for something like that. He can defend perfectly against Hellions for the rest of his career. But we're always gonna remember that one OSC Super Series game.
True. So so again, Oreo, he did play well, and we'll see if he can maybe turn things around here against ByuN. Regardless, I do know that Oreo, he takes these ESL Open Cup tournament runs as, you know, an extra bit of practice, right? Like, especially when it comes to, you know, ladder can be great and all, but it's also a little bit random. You know, there are unfortunately certain individuals on the Korean ladder nowadays that
Yep.
Maybe making it hard for everyone else. Yeah, it's good practice.
It really is. I mean, they've always said that probably the best practice in a competitive setting you can get are weekly tournaments, even more so than even just custom games, right? With friends or teammates or whatever.
Yeah. It's where
it's not. Yeah. Because it's not quite the same. Like, we know we're practicing, we have to take this seriously, but, you know, every now and then, maybe I just throw in some kind of, like, something to break up the monotony here.
Yeah.
Like a certain joke build or whatever.
I mean, a best of is completely different, you know? There's the veto process, there's the mind games, you know? You get to learn things from your opponent from game to game.
Absolutely.
Speaking of.
And that's why, we do see that a lot of the players who do pretty dang well in regional events, like Taiwan and Oceania, are the ones who are very active in weekly events as well.
Yep. Meanwhile, this is the Rattata special, so this is why last game I was like, yo, he's going to pick up the Marines, right? Because he's doing it here. The Marines are on the way. Hellions as well. Behind this, armory is thrown down, is already complete.
And now it's just a matter of morphing them in. Now Oreo has a lot of queens, but they don't really have too much energy on them. He will have maybe one transfuse available, and ByuN is not making it easy for him.
Oh god, exactly. One queen already goes down. The Lings are having a hard time really connecting with this, but now with this, enough time has passed and the Hellbats are actually being focused down.
Yeah, the medevac gets sniped, and Oreo will hold on. He's mostly only lost Lings at this point, and a handful of queens. Not the most ideal, but it's a lot better than being dead, I can tell you that.
Yeah, like a great defense, especially bearing in mind that Oreo didn't see this. Oreo has never gone into the main base. He just saw a depot at the natural base and saw that there was no third TC, so he could make some assumptions, but with all those queens, he was able to defend beautifully. But ByuN, he isn't done.
Not at all. Here comes part 2. Banshee Boogaloo.
Let's go. Banshee's on the way. Cloak is about to finish up. We also have a couple more Hellions that are testing the waters again, trying to keep that creep at bay. But so far, so good here for Oreo. Just has to be careful. Just has to. Oh god, he's gonna intercept the Banshee.
Oh. Cloak just about finished up, and unfortunately there isn't no here, but there is a Spore Crawler. Banshee dips just out of detection range, though.
Jesus, 5 HP, one shot from getting taken out. At the same time, Hellions are looking to run into the natural base, but the Lings are here to meet them.
They are lining up though, so a lot of these Lings will get shade off. It's quite a bit of a mineral bank going down, but it's not the biggest of deals if he's able to keep enough of his drones alive. 7 of them go down, and that's a nice pick off of ByuN.
Definitely. I didn't think that the Hellions would manage to get all the way into the main base, but despite the Lings being in position, they were able to push their way through. 7 drone kills for 4 Hellions? Not bad at all.
Yeah, they've paid for themselves a couple times over. And by a couple times over, I mean about 1.5, 1. Oh, that's my calculator.
Oh, no, don't do the math. Don't do the math, Yaku. Don't do it. Oh, God. It's the weekend, okay? You don't have to worry about it. It's fine. Oh, God.
Meanwhile, by average.
Meanwhile, the second Banshee is going to get across the map. Looks like he can get 1, maybe 2 transferring drones. Oh, no, not yet. Okay, there we go. Is going to turn around. And the Queens, they were unfortunately over at the front line, so they pulled all the way back to deal with this Banshee.
That they have. So they're not, once again, they're not going to be spreading creep, which is, again, one of the major factors that led into ByuN's victory in the previous game was the fact that he was able to force Oreo into all of these fights off of creep.
Exactly, and despite all these queens being here, they still don't stop the Banshee, and drones continue to fall. Oh my god!
Banshee dips in, Banshee dips out, 6 drones go down. And Oreo, he just wants a stable economy, man. He just wants to get his drones up and he just wants to mine. He's dealing some counter-harass damage across the map, and now the worker counts are just about even, but ByuN has mules. Never forget that.
He really does, but that's why this run-by was so crucial. I'm a little bit surprised. ByuN, he was a little bit too lax. He was focusing a little bit too much on this Banshee, and he wasn't able to protect this mineral line. Meanwhile, Oreo isn't done. He's going for a Baneling run-by. Baneling speed is already done, by the way, but this Banshee is just being so annoying.
Was being so annoying. True. Starts to fall right now. ByuN just looking to clear up creep. He thought this isn't his major push yet. Just wait for 2-2 before that happens.
True. Meanwhile, ByuN's a little bit distracted. The Baneling run-by is going to go in. He does break through, bust through the depot wall, but will not connect with the mineral line.
Yeah, I think 1 Baneling connected with some SCVs, and 1 Baneling connection is not enough to take out SCVs.
God, exactly. Meanwhile, you know what? Oreo, he is 56 drones and he is done, mate. He's making more Lings. Another wave of Lings. Another wave of Banelings are on the way. Oreo, he's going for it with the Widow Mine! Up! Up! Up!
That actually doesn't connect with much. Nice flip from Oreo towards the end there. And now there aren't any Widow Mines here for ByuN, and there are still so many Banelings to worry about!
Oh my god, 1 more Widow Mine shot does not connect. There are 2 more Widow Mines. The connection is going to be so important! Oh, they didn't go off!
But they don't connect! I think we actually saw a manual detonation there to deal with all of those Widow Mines. 7 SCVs go down throughout all of this, but ByuN has cleared this up. Not the most efficient trade, but a but a efficient trade, regardless. We'll be on here.
It was a trade.
It was a trade, yeah. Look, a lot of Marines, a lot of SC, a lot of Marines, a lot of Lings went down. Those are the 2 most expendable units for their respective race.
Yeah, what's scary is that was meant to be a kill move. Like, Oreo, like, again, his drone count is suffering at the moment. Like, he chose not to drone up, he chose not to go into Hive. He is stuck on lair tech. He does have 2-2 on the way, which is great. And what I will say is about that trade is that he did kill a lot of Widow Mines, which is great. But that Widow Mine count is getting higher, and it's going to be that much more difficult for Oreo to end this.
Yeah, Widow Mines, man, they're cheap, they're quick to build, a lot more than tanks. Resetting the mine count is nowhere near as deadly as resetting, say, a tank count.
Yeah.
And now ByuN's on 4 bases. He's a Terra player on even basis with the Zerg player. Is the last thing you want to see when you're a Zerg player stuck on lair tech.
Yeah, and you say even bases, look at the worker count. Again, like, Oreo is all in. He was all in, and he's continuing to be all in. And this drop is already wreaking havoc in the main base, trading so well against all these Lings. 2-2 still isn't done. 3-3 already on the way for ByuN.
Yep. And again, since Oreo's not getting Hive, he's not going to be able to even up the upgrades once 3-3 finishes up here for ByuN.
Pretty much. Meanwhile, no, God, the Widow Mine shot!
Oh! That was a money shot there.
There's more where that came from, buddy. There's so many. No, no! No!
That was an even better shot, connecting on just about every single Baneling there. How many Banelings does Oreo have left? Not a whole lot.
Yeah, exactly.
The answer to that.
There's just too much at the same time. Another drop into the main base. Sure, there are Lings, but you never want to be trading Lings against Marines like this. The Marines, they just trade so efficiently, and ByuN is just going to keep on going, and things are looking so good for Oreo earlier, but now not so much.
Yeah, nice split here from ByuN. GG is called, and ByuN will take that series 2-0.
Win count.
Well played here from Jesus Christ, both players have. Oreo actually broke it to 500.
GG, well played. Congratulations, ByuN. He played incredibly well, especially with his defense. But at the same time, Oreo, the execution of that build was almost perfect. Like, the way that he was able to rock up, the way that, again, with that first engagement, how he avoided all those Widow Mine shots and was able to even kill Widow Mines before they detonated. Like, that was insane.
Yeah, it really was. But at the end of the day, he was trading a little too inefficiently to really cripple ByuN there.
Yeah.
And honestly, not. I see a lot of really good moves here from Oreo. Again, he treats these weekly events as, you know, some extra dedicated practice and whatnot. What better way to practice builds like that than against one of the best Terran players in the world?
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's who you want to be testing that against. And it almost worked. You know, I think what's important is a lesser player would have died there. A lesser player would have just toppled over. But not ByuN, mate. Not ByuN.
Yep.
Oreo just messaged me. ZVP unwinnable.
You know what? He's not wrong.
Oh, God.
Ain't wrong there.
Oh my God. But with that, ByuN moves on to the next round. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you want to have a look at the bracket, because we already have another series.
Indeed, we do. They just keep coming this week. And it's a quarterfinal match already.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we are going to be getting into a TvP ByuN versus Nightmare. Winner of this will go up against either Zest or Hero in the semifinals. This will be classic. No, classic. But also gets me super hyped for Hero because Hero's been looking so good lately.
Yeah. Hero has been looking insane. Fun fact, Hero hits 6.8k on the Korean ladder.
Jeez. How are we on Super Tournament spoilers? Because
Go for it.
There was a result in Super Tournament this week. Hero 3-0 trap.
Yeah.
That was a massive shock to me.
GG EBD, it's time to jump ship when it comes to your fandoms, mate. It's time to get.
Look, it's a wrong hero, right, for Gemini.
True. Oh god, that's the problem. Any other Protoss, and he would totally adopt them. but there's some history between Gemini and CJ Hero. Yep. Feels bad, man.
Feels bad. Hashtag not my hero.
Hashtag not my hero. Oh god. But yeah, Hero versus Zest is going to be an insane PvP. I'm sure that's going to be casted by someone else, whether it's Chicken Man or Steadfast or Renegade X. There's plenty of other English casters going on right now. English casts going on right now.
I mean, we got some other updates here in the bracket. Percival and Gumiho currently going at it in the round of 16. The winner of that will face the either Marco or Solar. Probably Solar, but who knows really. Raza actually takes out Yan Z 2-1. That, I think that was the other matchup we were looking at. Like, that has potential, you know? We cast a lot of Yan Z, we cast a lot of Raza, but we don't really cast the two of them against each other too often. But yeah, apparently we got the result from that. Raza did come up on top and is now facing Cyan in the round of 16 as well.
Ooh, nice. So Raza versus Cyan is quite spicy. Winner of that goes up against the winner of Special and Chance. That's a pretty great portion of the bracket. Meanwhile, it makes sense. We're done with the holidays. We're done with the end of year Zerg hype, because now all the Zergs have gone back to hibernation.
I just noticed that.
Yep.
Feels bad, man.
We enjoyed a couple of weeks with like Armani, Ragnarok, Dark. They were all showing up. Now, this week, there is only one.
There was only one. Oh no, there still is only one. Yeah, Solar. Solar. And Solar has a pretty good shot, I think, of making it to the finals this week, just looking at his potential opponents. But who knows? Gumiho and Percival, both of them wild cards when it comes to TvZ specifically. Cyan could pull something off. Special could pull something off. Raza as well.
Yeah. There's definitely upset potential, but I think it's important to know that they would be upsets. Solar is kind of the highest rated player down there in that lower half of the bracket, but we'll see how far he can go, especially because that portion of the bracket may be going a little bit slower.
Look. Well, now that Oreo is out, you know he's going to be transferring all of his energy to Solar.
Mate! In-game! Mate!
We just got an update here from ByuN. Percival has taken out Gumiho 2-1!
Wow.
Percival! Taking out Gumiho. That's in a TvT as well. That's Gumiho's forte.
Crazy, mate. Crazy. Percival! With a massive result, takes down Gumiho. It's insane.
Wow.
Mate.
Wow.
These up-and-coming Koreans, they're finally getting some results on the board. Percival takes out Gumiho. Chance, if you remember last week, I think he took a game off of ByuN or something along those lines. Like, he took a game off of someone. Yep. Not a series yet, but, like, Chance versus Special, like, Chance recently hit 6K. Like, he's getting to that level of those other, like, top pro Korean players.
Absolutely.